Before we get to your scheduled video, please remember that likes and comments tell YouTube to promote our work to other people, and subscribing to the channel tells you when something new drops. You can also head to the link tree in the description to peruse my books, join us on Discord, or support us on Patreon. You can get episodes of Journey of Wrestling and Violent Profiles early, as well as a load of other treats. Even just $1 a month earns you a name drop for being cool. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. Greetings and salutations, fellow old people. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hi.
Just a lad. Just a small youngin'.
I mean, I'm in my 30s, but that is my nickname.
Well, you know, I have said this in fiction I've made before, but Shawn Michaels is still the Heartbreak Kid, and he's like 60, so yeah, you're all right.
It is what it is, man.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and today we're adding a little bit of a wrinkle to an established podcast gimmick that I actually thought of last night. I was gonna save it for next year because next year is our big 10-year anniversary. But, like, why not start early? What's it gonna hurt?
We do this podcast for fun, and this sounded fun.
Yeah, pretty much. And we needed a podcast, and, well, here we are. Before I get into all of that, though, we do need to talk about who is cool.
There are so many cool people.
There are 5, and that is way more than there have been before.
That's many.
That's going to include Passion Killer 711, Harmony, Rob, a guy from Ohio, and Distrucity, KTL. I found out interestingly recently, noticed I should say, he refers to himself as KTL. I refer to him as Distrucity. I guess that'd be kind of like someone calling you the.
Well, you're cool.
You guys are cool. Thank you so much. It's just $1 a month. That's a pittance. Over on the Patreon, link in the description in the link tree.
And you will be according to the United States federal government, who have given us the authority to declare this, definitely, in real life, in Minecraft.
Dude, that's fucked up.
That you are cool.
All right, let's talk about movies. Let's talk about old movies. So,
you can see the thumbnail.
Yeah, we started Two Nerds Don't Go to the Movies as a response to people saying there are too many superhero movies. They're ruining everything about cinema. Wrong. There are just more movies.
There are just many, many, many movies.
And we rolled on from there to look at, more months worth of movies. Because it was fun to just talk about stuff we haven't seen and discover stuff we might like to see, etc., etc., etc. I thought about going back. Back to a time when there really weren't superhero movies. I mean, there were, but not the way there are now. And just kind of checking to see what was going on there. I have chosen 1994. We're beginning in January. You will know by the title how far this goes. I don't right now. Movies came out different back then. Why 1994? As my compatriot here alluded, he would have been about 5. Which is the first time I remember going to the movies and remembering the whole movie experience. I was 5. That would be the 1990 Ninja Turtles film. And I saw movies before that, and I have some very, very dim, hazy memories of those outings. But, like, Oliver and Company was playing, the theater was small. I don't quite count that. I remember conversations I had with people around going to see the original Ninja Turtles movie. So, a lot of those films, it's not very interesting if we just say, well, we were too young.
And before 1994, I would have been.
Right.
I actually do remember the first time I remember going to the theater. I don't know if it was the first time I went. It was the first time I remember going. I remember it because I saw a bad movie, and my mom saw the movie we were all going to go see and said, that looks stupid. I'm going to go watch Twister. And I didn't go watch Twister in the theater with my mom, and I'm never going to live that down in my own head.
Now, of course, a lot of these movies we might have seen after the fact. But, starting in the 80s, it would have been, well, I didn't even know this was a film. How could I have? Whereas I was cognizant of ads that were happening at this time. You probably were too. And we were watching TV. That's how advertising works. Why did I not start earlier and just deal with it? Well, the Cinema Snob does an 80s retrospective. Films that came out in 1980, 1981. They're several hour-long episodes, and I would have too much familiarity with, like, the first 3 years of the 80s.
For it to be fun.
Just because of that. And I'd be sitting here going, why do I know this movie? stupidly. And also, I mean, like, you start in 80, okay, that's great and everything, but, like, Star Wars was 77, so do we start in 70? Well, a lot of good movies came out in the 60s.
And we're not starting from the beginning of cinema.
I haven't seen most of those, I'll tell you that much. But we can begin here, January 1994, with The Air Up There.
You know what's good about going back this far? Most of these are going to have Wikipedia pages.
Yeah, big, deep ones. I remember this movie cover from my local video store, a thing it is not extant anymore.
Some of you may be too young to have ever gone to a video store.
I've seen our target audience, the people who actually watch the videos. No, they aren't.
I know of at least one person who was not cognizant for the Attitude Era who is cool. So yes, some of them are.
Well, I mean, video stores have only been gone for about 10 years. Whereas the Attitude Era was, it's 1994, I think. It was 96, but still.
So, yeah, I've seen this. My brain honestly, genuinely said screenshot just now. I've seen this poster before, but I absolutely have not seen this movie, and nor do I care to.
Yeah, it's a basketball movie. Our friend Kevin Bacon, a college basketball coach, goes to Kenya to find somebody who can play basketball for him. I'm all right. Cabin Boy. I remember the ads for this, but I've never actually seen it. I've seen parts of it, but I've never sit down and watched it all the way through.
You know what's also nice? This is unrelated to Cabin Boy. I just realized that as of next year, this will be 30 years ago. So we're starting at like a nice round number.
Yeah.
Trying to keep ahead.
Wow, look at me. It's almost like I did that on purpose. He says, not having done that on purpose.
Nice. Cabin Boy.
I remember the ads for this. It's Chris Elliott is aboard a ship, and he cleans the pipes. That's all I remember, is these pipes are clean being shouted.
I remember that. That's got to be a video store thing. I remember that poster again, but I do not. I have not seen this.
I don't remember the poster. I remember the ads. I remember him screaming, "These pipes are clean." Jim Cummings played the floating cupcake. What more do you need?
Good job,
Good
Mr.
job,
Cummings.
Jim Cummings. House Party 3.
This I have seen.
The third in the video game franchise.
No.
Oh. I have not seen. I've not seen any of the house parties, I'll be honest with you.
I have seen 1, 2, and 3.
This is a part where we get into this. I'm going to put this as neutrally as I can. I grew up a very sheltered child. Please draw some wild conclusions based on that fact. I didn't really get into non-strictly parental approved movies until I was in high school. But there were exceptions.
And this is sort of a raunchy college comedy. I could see this not passing muster.
Definitely. So I was not... I've had to play catch up with so many movies. Man, I've not seen RoboCop. It's on the list.
Stop reminding me of that.
I would play the new RoboCop video game, and I'd be laughing at stuff like it was novel, and you'd just be sitting there weathered, growing older by the second.
I, however, did not lead a sheltered childhood. Draw any wild conclusions from that you would like, but I have seen a lot of movies that I was way too young to see. I certainly didn't see this in theaters, but I have seen it, and it was fun to my dim recollection of it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that's like comedies probably didn't age well. Just gonna
I'm gonna guess. Yeah, that seems reasonable to guess, if I'm being honest.
Iron Will is a David Ogden Stiers movie. I'm gonna pull a name from the middle and assume he's the lead.
Sure, why not?
It's about a mail runner in South Dakota in 1917. I was going to say, I don't think South Dakota's that bad anymore.
It's like a dog sled race?
Yeah, well, he does mushing and whatnot.
Okay, well, I mean, like... there are a lot of movies about dog sled racing.
It's something that people had a bit of romance about.
This, I didn't want this to be a referendum on superhero movies. Even though that's kind of how this particular sub-series started, and if you look at the rest of our content, it is most of the movies we cover. But I feel like if you're saying, hey, superhero movies ruin cinema, we've pretty thoroughly disproved that with the other miniseries. But also, was there really a lot to ruin if we had, like, a lot of movies about dog sled racing?
Well, now, let's be fair. This is January.
You know what that is? It's dead.
It's nothing good comes out in January even now.
That's fair. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe we didn't have so many premises to begin with, eh?
Well, we have Intersection, a remake of a French film that I'm not going to try to pronounce. Starring Richard Gere, Sharon Stone, Martin Landau, Lolita Davidovich. That's a fun name to say.
Shout out 90s trope. I see that they run an architectural firm. Architect is one of the jobs that that Hollywood film writers give people when they want them to be rich and do nothing, so that their job doesn't have to be an important part of the plot. What is this?
It's a romantic drama.
Oh, that's why I didn't watch that.
I think there might be an arranged marriage or something. I don't know.
Early 90s romantic drama. Bro, I was watching Power Rangers.
Well, and like, I don't care. Nobody cares. Blink. It actually came out in 1993, but it's in America in 1994. This is not the 2022 short film, which I may have seen. Horror? Yeah. In fact, I believe I did.
No, I have seen that, actually.
Yeah. But what have we got in here? A bunch of people I don't know. James Remar. Laurie Metcalf. That's interesting.
Maybe not. I was speaking of the short film, and I'm not even sure I've seen that. But the 1993/4 film, I definitely haven't seen.
No. Emma Brody is a young musician who's been blind for 20 years. New surgery techniques restore her vision, but initially cause vision flashes that leave her uncertain about what she sees. One night, she is awakened by a noise in an apartment above. Peeking out the door, she sees a figure descending the stairs and contacts the police, worried that her neighbor has been murdered. But she and the police are unsure whether it was just her new vision deceiving her. The killer then begins to stalk Emma. Spoilers, there's a killer.
Yeah, okay.
Jeez, movie. This is a really cool poster.
I mean, look, this doesn't look bad.
No, it sounds pretty good, actually. I don't know that I'm going to put it on the list.
I don't think so.
That's fine. I want to live my life. Booty Snatchers.
Not what that is. That's
No?
a different,
That's not how you
that's a
pronounce
different
that?
movie. I imagine it came out 2 years later.
It's loosely based on the 1955 novel. We've got Gabrielle Anwar, Terry Kinney, Billy Worth, Forrest Whitaker, which is the first name that I'm not pretty sure is made up, and Meg Tilly. It's the Body Snatchers. It's
just the invasion of the Body Snatchers again. Just,
snatching bodies.
Putting out there. There were like 4 versions of this before that. Did we need a 5th?
Car 54, Where Are You? The film.
I know about this movie, but I have definitely not seen it.
It's a TV show, I believe. Yeah, it was based on a TV show. It has Fred Gwynn in it. I mean, we've got that going for us.
And Nipsey Russell.
Fran Drescher. Rosie O'Donnell. Ooh, but Al Lewis. Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis, and that's pretty nice. It was started as a musical comedy, and then they cut all the musical interludes. So it's just about cops being silly.
Yeah, this is just Police Academy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Tone Loc was in it.
Good for Tone Loc. We're going to see a lot of Tone Loc, by the way, in this series.
It's the Tone Loc times. I've never seen Car 54, Where Are You? I don't care.
Yeah, no, we're not going to be adding that. I'm not going to watch that.
The Scent of Green Papaya.
That's made up. That's a fake movie. That's not real.
Annoying. Vietnamese language French drama film. Man, that's why I didn't see it and why I haven't still. This is the kind of film that people make art school film jokes about. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't care.
Know anything about this plot, but boy howdy, could they not have more firmly delivered on the name The Scent of Green Papaya than they did with Vietnamese language French movie?
There's acupuncture.
Good for it. No.
I'm all right. We're moving into February to Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Now, I definitely have seen this.
I haven't.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't age well.
A man comes out of an elephant's butt. Do you think that's cool?
That's actually the sequel.
Well, regardless. Somehow my mom knew about it.
Spoilers for later in this series, I've also seen the sequel. Why
are we doing this fucking show? You're just going to tell them everything.
Yep.
Jeez.
I'm going to give it all away. Giving away all the secrets. But yeah, no, Ace Ventura was really fun when I was a little kid. But I remember the plot of Ace Ventura. I don't feel like the plot of Ace Ventura has aged super well. If I'm being real with y'all.
I mean, had Udo Kier in it. How bad could it be? We've got Gunman. It's a movie about men who can turn into guns.
I don't think so.
Okay. It is an action comedy, so that's not, outside the realm of possibility.
I knew I recognized that face. That is Christopher Lambert.
Mario Van Peebles, Dennis Leary, Kadeem Harrison.
Dennis Leary and Christopher Lambert in an action comedy.
Sally Kirkland and Patrick Stewart.
I don't know. This sounds really good. What is it about?
Wheelchair user and drug baron Peter Loomis has $400 million drug fortune stolen in South America by his errand boy Carlos, who stashed it in an undisclosed boat in an undisclosed harbor. Loomis sends ruthless killer Armor O'Malley, this man's first name is Armor,
perfect,
to find the boat and recover the money. He and his sidekick Marie kill Carlos before they get to the name of the location of the boat, but learn his brother Danny knows where it is and set out to find him. I'm guessing
it proceeds from there. Action comedy with Christopher Lambert and Patrick Stewart in it.
Let's see how it was received. A whole 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my god, it's probably terrible.
Oh boy.
Do we add it to the list?
You know what? I'll leave it open for you, buddy.
It looks so bad and amazing.
I'll do anything, which describes films we'd watch, if you gave us $15 on the Patreon.
Yeah.
You can tell us what to podcast on.
This series makes a really good breeding ground for that perk.
Yeah.
Because if you're not sure what to recommend, you can just watch this series, find the one we sound like we want to watch the least, and then you can do that.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it won an Emmy Award. No, the plot is, in 1980, the main character failed to win an Emmy Award. Comedy drama, written and directed by James L. Brooks. Probably not that bad, then.
Main character's Nick Nolte.
Got Tracy Ullman, Julie Kavner, Albert Brooks, unsurprisingly. Gracie Films, I don't know, it might be good. It might be good. I don't know. Mixed to positive reviews. It's probably fine.
Yeah, I'm not interested, but it is probably fine.
Yeah. My Father the Hero. Like, one of my favorite things about looking back like this is I have no clue. I've never heard of this.
Well, that's because it's French, again.
Oh, is it French again? I mean, I didn't hear the last one either, It's got Gerard Depardieu. Everyone likes him. Katherine Heigl. What was she, 12 at the time?
Maybe.
And it's a remake.
The 1991
French teenage
movie.
daughter, Katherine Heigl. Okay.
I mean, okay, sure. This is a movie that exists. I'm not gonna watch it.
No, wow, I really don't care.
Comedy drama.
Okay, Andre Arnel, a Frenchman divorced from his wife, takes his teenage daughter Nicole on vacation with him to the Bahamas. She's desperate to appear as a woman and not a girl. That sounds like it's going to be problematic viewing. So in order to impress local boy Ben, she makes up more and more ridiculous stories, starting with Andre being her lover, and leading to some bizarre assumptions by the rest of the community. Andre is desperate to make Nicole happy, especially as she is increasingly upset with his relationship with girlfriend Isabel, and so plays along with her crazy games, and the stories they make up get increasingly bizarre.
Hey, you know what? Fuck age well. That's bad now. That's 1994 bad.
I've got some questions, Francis Weber.
That's bad in 1994. That didn't work then, and it doesn't work now.
You French people. Naked. Oh, that's a cover. British black comedy drama. Starring everyone's favorite Aries.
Huh. That's an opening sentence.
That's an opening sentence.
Comedy drama.
Comedy
okay,
drama.
Yeah,
That's,
oh boy, no.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's...
It's cinematography by the Dick Pope, though, so that scene's going to be pretty good. Risky joke, I went for it. Romeo is Bleeding. Probably from the previous film.
Hey!
Neo-noir crime drama thriller. These are all from 1993 that just got ported over in January. Like, fuck it. We have Gary Oldman in this one, so that's not too bad. Homicide detective.
I'm sure it'll be good. Gary Oldman's great in everything he's in.
I'm going through here, and I'm not seeing a lot of talk about weird father-daughter relationships and rape, so probably good at a glance. Juliette Lewis. So, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Romeo. But,
you may continue to bleed.
Yeah. I don't know. I might watch it if I was sitting there. Ugh, blank.
Oh, yeah. Now we've won! Second entry into the Tone Loc cinematic universe. Blank check.
Now, this is fascinating. It was originally released in the United Kingdom as Blank Check.
Oh, ooh.
And I'm seeing here in the appropriate republic as Blank Check. You laughed at that.
I laughed at it because I don't know that existed in 1990.
I don't know that it did either.
I believe it was
It might have still been.
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't as funny if I said the name up front. Come on.
But this movie rips. I loved this movie when I was a kid.
I remember these ads, but I never saw this film.
This movie rips. But now that I think about it, there is a grown woman having a romantic subplot with an 11-year-old. So maybe it hasn't aged super well.
People wonder why the adult film industry, you know, in a time where people who grew up during this time were young and impressionable, is so full of drier situations. A lot of risque, taboo things. And I have to question mark. Maybe it was what we were taking in.
But no, that's ultimately very innocent. The kid has a crush on an adult woman, and she doesn't crush his ego about it. That's about as far as it goes. But this movie, I haven't seen it since I was maybe 12. It rips. It's super great. No notes.
I wasn't actually passing judgment. I like to pretend. We like to have fun here on the Two Nerds podcast. Fun like The Getaway. It's featuring Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger, Michael Madsen, Jennifer Tilly, Richard Farnsworth, that's the guy from Futurama, and James Woods.
That sure is a fucking 90s ass cast.
It's an action thriller, and the drugs happen. A drug bust. They got to get out of the drug. There's a drug lord. There's a getaway plane. Look at the poster. Just look. This is where I would like to click on it and embiggen it, but y'all know that doesn't work. Again,
just so we're clear, we've gone through several movies in January to February of 1993. So far, I believe there have been at least 3 movies, the plot of which are drug money, guns. And
this was better than now with the superheroes. Because there are too many superhero movies and they're edging out the other movies.
We could have so many more drug money guns.
For another original concept, it's My Girl 2, the sequel to My Girl.
They made a fucking sequel to My Girl?
Yeah, I've seen the original. I have not seen this.
Is that JTT?
No. We've got Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, Anna Chlumsky, and Austin O'Brien.
Austin O'Brien, I guess. Okay.
I would guess. I've no...
No, that's not him. No. I recognize that kid from somewhere.
Well, you know what? Let's deep dive into Austin O'Brien. Lawnmower Man. He was the girl version of Peter Parker, Peter Parkett.
Sure, why not?
Last Action Hero is probably...
He's the sidekick kid from Last Action Hero. Yeah. That's what he is. Thank you.
He's also in Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyberspace. I didn't know those were a prequel to the Spider-Verse movies.
Could be. Who knows?
I mean, they might be, for all the references they pack into that. I was traumatized enough by the first My Girl, I didn't have an incentive to see the second.
Yeah, that's not a fun... what? That's not a... Having seen My Girl, I wouldn't want to see the sequel. That movie was sad.
Yeah, I don't... Like, it's an important sort of coming-of-age tale, and I wasn't tired of those back then. I hadn't come of age yet. But, I don't see that situation and go, I wonder what terrible fate befalls her. You know what? Let's Google it.
No, yeah, I want to know the plot of My Girl too. Let's spoil it. Because if it's the same girl and like another of her close childhood friends dies tragically, At this point, she's the common denominator.
Let's see. No, this one is way more coming of age.
Yeah, there's like a romance thing. They kiss about it. I'm glad the other kid lived.
Yeah, but he leaves.
Yeah.
I don't see much mention of her dad. Maybe he dies in the middle of it.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, not as depressing. I don't know, probably direct-to-video. I do remember ads for it, though. State of Emergency. I bet it has to do with guns and drugs. No plot. No plot, no poster. Joe Mantegna plays a drug. Paul Dooley has all the guns. Can Lynn Whitfield make those guns and drugs come together in a way that benefits America? Or will Deborah Kara Unger, who's got to be like 8 at this point, save the day for the Russians?
More drug, gun, money movie. Definitely better than superheroes. So many drug and money gun.
I mean, I'm just making this up. I don't know what it's about.
I don't care. I'm just doing a bit here.
Blue Chips.
I don't actually hate that kind of movie.
It's about the most interesting kind of tortilla chip in 1994. Oh, no, it's a sports drama about Shaq.
Wow, they were already making Shaq movies in 94, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Oh, wait, starring Shaq? No, it's not a documentary. It just has Shaq in it.
Oh.
And Nick Nolte.
Is this the first entry into the Shaq cinematic universe?
Oh, man. At the end of this, does he get transported to the world of Shaq Fu?
Or Steel?
Or
Shazam? Or Kazam. It's Kazam. Shazam is the one that exists in the alternate universe. Shazam is the one that exists on Miles Morales' Earth.
I'm more interested in watching whatever was the air up there than Blue Chips. On Deadly Ground.
Oh, boy. Another fine specimen from 90's entertainment. Why don't you tell the people about Steven Seagal?
He's a jackass.
Yeah, he is.
He's been in a lot of dumb movies. He's like some, if you're watching a TV show, like a cartoon, and it's got a parody of Chuck Norris, that is just Steven Seagal. I don't know, I'm sure this was dumb. I might have seen it. It's got Michael Caine in it. That's kind of cool. Arlie Ermy, John C. McGinley, Billy Bob Thornton.
That's a good cast, but it's a Steven Seagal movie, so it's going to be real bad.
He's fighting environmental destruction. Oil rigs and refineries in Alaska. You know what? Hey, at least it's not about drug, money, gun. It's just gun, oil, which turns into money and drugs. Aw, man. Steven Seagal, you let us down again. Reality bites. Which is conveniently the next film.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna just flush my edgy cred down the toilet. I've
Haven't
never
seen this?
No.
Damn, oh, well. Rip. I haven't seen this shit either. I don't know.
I've heard it defined as like the I don't know, the Gen X ethos.
It's a Ben Stiller movie? Your ethos is a Ben Stiller movie.
Well,
directed by Ben Stiller movie, to be clear.
It's not, I don't believe it's that kind of Ben Stiller movie.
Is it one of the ones where he's allowed to be funny?
It's like a seriouser one. I think he's a douchebag in it.
Look,
which, I mean, that went well for his character in Dodgeball, so.
There are two kinds of Ben Stiller movie. There is the ones where he's allowed to be funny, and the ones where he's playing the Ben Stiller type.
Yeah, in the years since its initial release, it has achieved cult status and been singled out as one of the films that captured the zeitgeist of the early 90s grunge scene among young adults, while also bringing to attention various issues that plagued them at the time.
Huh.
So, yeah, it really, what I said, basically, but with better words.
Yeah, good for them. Good for Gen X.
Yeah, it's something I'd probably sit down and watch at some point.
I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it is good, but, like, I have other shit to do.
This is what we're missing. This is what we're not getting because there's too many superhero movies.
Yeah, guys just trying their best to stay on a cow.
A fake cow. Oh, no, maybe it is a real cow. And he falls in love with a barrel racer. Wow.
That's a lady who makes a horse go around barrels.
We got Jungle Boy's dad, Stephen Baldwin, Just had so many Baldwins laying around, you just sort of...
I mean, in the mid-90s, if you had a movie and you were open for, like, you were filming for long enough, Baldwins would begin to spawn in the background.
We had Renee Zellweger as Buckle Bunny. George Michael, Brooks and Dunn, McBride and the Ride, Vince Gill, and Carla Bonoff as themselves.
Good for them.
You know, I probably would like watch it and be like, it wasn't actually that bad. There's some good parts to it. Midnight Cowboy, this is a re-release, so I don't think this counts. It came out, though. This is how desperate we were for films.
Yeah, they couldn't even, they was like, you want this movie again?
Sugar Hill.
Not The Gang.
No, well, maybe.
Well, it's about
a crime film.
This is, if my memory serves me, have you ever seen that meme image of Wesley Snipes crying while he's about to shoot a guy? That's what that's from.
So, it is about guns and crime.
And I'm almost certain drugs.
Boxing, the burning house, drug overdose, done. No, actually, I'm sure this is really good.
No, dude, of course, yeah. This seems like it's probably a really fucking good movie, but...
I don't really want to watch movies like this these days, but, like, again, if we still lived in that era where you left the TV on and movies would just appear, I'd probably watch it.
If this was on and I was around, I would absolutely leave it on.
All right, oh my god. Last film of this podcast, we'll be coming back to this concept.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is a mini-series, North and South, starring... Patrick Swayze, Kirstie Alley, David Ogden Stiers is back, David Carradine, Jonathan Frakes. Wow.
We've got another solid 90s cast here.
Yeah. It's a mini-series, obviously, about...
the Civil War? Yeah.
You really stepped on my punchline there. I was trying to think of the least appropriate war. The Iran-Contra affair. I don't know.
The Korean War.
The Korean
War. That would have worked
yeah.
in the Vietnamese War.
It's about the some other country's civil war. I don't know. That's all I had.
It's just a very very tense football game between North and South Dakota.
Yeah. What is the runtime here? 90 minutes per episode, 1,342 minutes total. And will you release this as a movie? Who was in the theater for this shit?
Did that get theatrical release?
I'm not sure.
I feel like this didn't. Why is this on the movies list?
I feel like I've been lied to, movie.
Why is this on the movies list? Rude.
Well, let me go back in here. Maybe it's got some details for us. This is critical. Plot, no, that's dumb. It's just about the Civil War. VHS and DVD releases. I'm not seeing anything.
No box office section.
No.
Well, then again, they probably have TV movies on here, and those count.
I really thought you were going to go with some really sassy punchline.
No, I got nothing.